Hello, and welcome back to the Patrick's Green Tea podcast. Some news real quick. The episode downloads are actually almost reaching 100. Right now they're at 68 downloads. It's only been 2 episodes in, not including the introduction. So I'm super proud of this podcast for coming so far so quickly. And thank you guys so much for bringing me there and bringing the show there. I'm going to continue to release as quickly as possible. I think based on how long it's going to take for the release schedule, I think I want to make it as quick as possible so that it doesn't take too long for us to catch up to the present day. So a weekly thing is what I'm going to stick to. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but I just wanted to mention it again. So some notes for the episode. Timestamps aren't really a priority for me right now. The episode descriptions are already sort of cluttered with links. Maybe I'll start putting them in at the end of the descriptions in the future, but I don't really want to go back to the old episodes and re-listen all the way through. So that's just how it's going to be for right now. If you guys, I don't know, want to have timestamps, like I see YouTube videos where just random people have timestamps of their own and do that, I'd be happy to credit you and put it in episode descriptions or something like that. So also, I realized after listening to a few of these episodes that I'm very self-critical about my little jokes, which is unfortunate because I think the podcast would be more enjoyable and fluid with less criticism. Self-criticism, I guess. And from what I remember of later podcasts, my podcasting confidence increases with time, so that becomes less of an issue. I wish I elaborated more on the visuals I saw with this high. I don't really associate marijuana with visuals, and it's not something that's very noticeable. I've tried to close my eyes and look for minor visuals, in the past and since then. And my mind makes me imagine shapes and moving lines, sort of, very vaguely, but nothing really concrete. So it's interesting. I guess the effect sort of changed from the recording of this episode to now. Also, in this episode, I run into the problem of whether I should censor names of friends or whoever else. The rule I'm going to follow for this podcast is, as long as I don't implicate someone close to me who my friends know in any legal problems, I'm free to use their first names. People like Nick, who no one close to me knows, and, it's not really going to be an issue, don't need to be censored either. And there's pretty much no chance of them facing repercussions if I mention them doing anything illegal using only their first names, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't really make a decision on this in the early days in the podcast, so this might come up a few times more, but we'll navigate together as it comes up. So that's it, and I hope you enjoy the podcast.
All right, hello. It's what's the date? I'll start. Maybe I should start it with the date. Today is what? What's the month? August 4th. 2018, 3:08 a.m. I just went to. It was a long day. I went to work and then I went to my friend's house, and then I ended up going to another friend's house, and then the other friend is where I smoked. I smoked from what's it called? Freaking, oh my god. Sounds so bad. What? I literally don't even know what it's called. Bong. Fuck, dude. Okay. I smoked from a bong. I'm trying to think of how many hits. I want to say 3. Alright, one was really bad. Like my friend was doing it for me. Like, because I haven't really had too much experience with a lighter. Like, the one time I did it on vacation once, and I was trying to use the lighter on a bowl, but I didn't realize you have to suck in at the same time that you use the lighter. So yeah, for anyone who's new to this, I guess, like I learned a pretty important lesson today. When you're using the lighter, you suck in while you're holding it close to the weed through whatever it is, a joint. I think this effect will only pretty much work with a bowl or a bong. I almost forgot the word again. But what it does, it sucks the flame into the weed, so it both like actually burns the weed, plus it moves the flame away from your finger, because if you don't suck in at the same time, then the flame just goes into your thumb or your index finger or whatever you're using to light the freaking lighter, and it burns you. I didn't get like really badly burned the first time I did it. Like I used a lighter myself, but like I felt it, like it was kind of like a little zap. But this time, like I saw them doing it, and then I was trying to do it the normal way, just hope that the flame goes into the weed somehow. But then one of them said like suck in while you do it or something. Like they didn't like say it instructionally, they just said it as like advice. But like I kind of take that as like an instruction now. Like that's the only way to have it work best. Because with a joint, you don't have to point the flame downwards and like ignore the way the flame wants to go upwards. You can just like hold the flame below it. But with a joint or a bong, you have to like dip the lighter almost upside down or at least parallel to the ground to make it hit the weed, because it's in like a little channel, a little funnel. So the flame goes up towards your finger, whatever you're lighting with. Just checking to see if I'm recording still. I guess that was the end of the intro to like my setting, which I think it works best at the beginning of the episode. And I might have like an intro of like, I was thinking a bunch of podcast formatting ideas. So like maybe I could start each episode with me describing where I am. Not each episode, but each. All right, I'll just say for the sake of this, each episode I start by saying that, and then, oh my god, whatever. These thoughts are freaking jumbled up and out of order. I'll just stick to something. But maybe after the podcast is done, like after the recording is done, I should say, I might go in as a sober podcaster, sober editor, and then write like a little synopsis of the episode of what I did. I don't know if that's redundant to the show description though. Like I feel like a description might be sufficient with all these timestamps, but I don't know. I think there's something to be said about the audio intro, because with an audio intro you can talk in depth about things that you remembered to talk about. It's maybe like a follow up of sorts, but before the episode starts, like a prelude maybe, where all the things like after I listen to the podcast, I remember all of the loose ends I was trying to finish, and I'm able to finish them with a sober mind. Or maybe that would work better as an epilogue. That specific thing, like going back and finishing the tangents and other stuff, like things that I wanted to talk about but I forgot to, or something like that, which is basically finishing the tangent, but maybe finishing a tangent that didn't even begin. And I have to backtrack the number of rips I did, hits, whatever you want to call it. Oh god, I forgot what I was talking about. I want to backtrack at some point to the amount of rips I did. I wanted to keep that as like a side note, but I completely lost my main train of thought. Analyze. Oh yeah, you come back. I can come back with an analytical mind and see myself in a sober perspective and finish all those things and have a little introduction where I say, what am I trying to say? Like I was remembering the sentence I just said and I didn't make any sense. Like the last sentence I said. Like right now, I don't even know what came before this sentence that I just said. Oh god. I can't even like look into the freaking train of thought that was. I can't look at the path that made in my freaking mind. Like it's just covered up. I can't even like. I have to go all the way back to the freaking root of whatever that tangent was, which I can't even find, dude. These tangents are like a huge like web, and like the little terminus, the little intersections are where the tangents happen. Sometimes there are so many tangents that the web just gets so complex you can't find the root of one specific tangent, you know? You gotta sift through all the rest of that silk. I don't know what I'm saying. I really want to get back to what I was trying to describe, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. No, I don't actually remember what I was going to say. I remembered half, and the second half just didn't come to me. The thing that I keep going to is the intro. Something about the intro. This might be frustrating to the listeners, but whatever. This is it. This is what it's like to be high. I don't know. Now there's a car. My friend coming back from dropping the other friend off. I hope. Yeah, it is. I stopped. What the fuck? This will be fun. What is going on? He just got out of his car, walking really weirdly at me. What the fuck?
At this point, my friend came to the car to check on me. I edited this out to keep him anonymous, and that's it. Back to the show.
That was interesting. That was my friend who owns the house that I went to. Not owns the house, but lives there. And it was his weed I smoked. So the intro to the podcast. I don't know what else I was trying to say. The thought, like, literally, this friend, he said, like, I was having this moment where I was losing a tangent and I wanted to get back to it. And he's like, the thought is lost. Like, if it was lost, it's not worth pursuing, I guess. Which is true. Fuck. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It was proof of what I was just saying. How, like, the tangents that go away, the thoughts that you can't catch when you're trying to chase them, like, they're not worth pursuing, I guess, after a while. Some thoughts you just know. Like, you go back to the root of that tangent or whatever, like I said with the web analogy, and you remember that it's worth saying and you need to finish it. Like, you have a deep desire to finish it. And that sort of desire, like, outweighs anything else. Or, fuck. That tangent's trailing off. What I'm trying to say is that, the main tangent, like this. I realize that I want to finish this, like, really badly. So after the tangents go, whatever little tangents come off, little web strings that come off, I try to, like, or I don't remember at all. Because they're not important. But the ones that most emotionally resonate with me, when I remember them, I try to finish them. That's what I'm trying to say. And I finished it. And that's the thought. And that's concluded. Now I won't have the guilt or whatever when I remember what I was trying to say. Like, I don't even have to remember what I just said. I'm not going to remember. It's gone right now. But, like, I know it's been capped off, which is really nice. And then right now, I know that there's something that I need to be saying still, which is the number of rips and the details. I guess, okay, now there's another reaction. Instead of worrying about finishing the tangent and capping off, you start thinking, like, you remember this thing so often, like the thing about the number of rips. You go back to that web root, that, like, network, I don't know, that hub, whatever. See, like, all those little tangents I won't remember about the hub and the network, whatever that just was. You remember things that are capped off. Okay, so after a while, you go back to that root so much that it feels like you're kind of tired of going back to it. And you kind of have this feeling of defeat. Like, we've thought of this so many times. We've gone back so many times. How worth it is it? Like, at this point, how much have you said where you're feeling like what you said was adequate and you don't have to finish the whole tangent? That you can cap it off early and that it's good enough. And that, like, if you keep going, you will not reach the cap in a efficient enough, adequate enough time. And, I'm almost going to prove it. And what you just said was enough. You said more than enough, probably over-explained it, just stop. Like, that's the reaction that I kind of had, but not strong enough because I kept going with it, and now it's done. It's done, it's just done. I guess that's the third reaction, where it's like, you kind of cut off whatever you're just thinking. And you manually stop it for whatever reason. Either you don't like it, because I'm sure if you're going down an unpleasant path you can like not want to go down it and just reject it, or you could shut it down because it's not worth it. You know, there's a bunch of reasons. I don't know. All right, 3 bong rips. The first one was kind of bad because my friend was doing it for me, like I said. Second one was pretty big. Like, I did that myself, and that's when I realized whatever the instructional mechanic, whatever I just said about sucking in while you're lighting on fire. And like, that was pretty big. And that got me pretty kind of high, but after a while I felt like I'm not really feeling it. I kind of do. So we were listening to a bunch of music. Anyway, I'll get into that. But I took a third one, and I really took it in like slowly this time. I mean, the second time I did really slowly, and I didn't cough. The first time I coughed so much because my friend was doing it for me, and like I said, and he like messed it up because he pulled, but I didn't prepare to inhale again. Like, I stopped inhaling when he pulled it out, but he said, "Oh, inhale now." So I had already had my lungs stopped, and I like what I thought was the brink, and I had to inhale again. It was just a weird mix of like bodily reactions that just did not blend with the smoke, and I coughed so hard. I couldn't speak for like a full minute because every time I tried to, my throat would burn. Oh, my teeth are really hurting now. I don't know how tangential this podcast is. I don't know if people are going to like it. Like, I'm sure some people will like it. But, like, I know Bill Burr, his tangents don't go on this bad. Like, they're bearable. This might be past the point of being bearable. I think timestamps are necessary, obviously. Just in general. Like, with this podcast, because it's cool to jump around. But I think that it might be necessary to edit and not keep it freeform. But then that breaks the whole like documentarian vibe. I don't know. I'm still conflicted about the format of this. I think I'll just release it raw, and then like release these episodes just how they are, and establish the podcast so I have something to show people. I have something to promote it with, and actually get a bunch of feedback at once. I guess with that, which is another reason to do it. And I release them unedited, whatever. And then if people request that I edit them, I might just try that out and see if people like that. And then, it doesn't have to be the entire podcast is one. I've decided now. It doesn't have to be one consistent format. I can mix and match. And the podcast itself can be like a document about how I learned podcasting or whatever. Like how the podcast evolved to its final format, which would be cool. It'd probably be cool to study as a podcaster. How things start with this one, or with any podcast, I guess, that does that, where they just improve as they go along. I think it's really cool instead of one consistent. I mean, there's something to be said about the one consistent format, flow, style. This tangent's done. I'm cutting it off there because I think I made a conscious effort to say that was adequate. I'm tying it off with a bow, not out of like anxiety or like fear or whatever, like a good emotion. Like, I'm proud of what I said. I'm not forcing it to stop. I'm just like putting it to bed, I guess, is the best analogy. The third rip hit, I don't know, whatever. Third rip, I didn't call it a riff, at least this time. Third rip was thinking about all the loose ends I just did, but they're all capped off. I feel really good about that. I think I should just keep doing that to manage the high, and not worry about all these loose ends I'm leaving. Just like cap them off either voluntarily or semi-voluntarily, where I know it just has to end here, stuff like that. So I don't worry about going back. I'm more focused. Also, just like there was too much talk about last episode that I just couldn't. There were too many loose ends that could not be cut off, in my mind at least. But now it's just, I'm kind of like more relaxed about this episode. Kind of just gonna go wherever it goes and not worry about like a structure. or say a million things at once, because I already said everything I had to say pretty much in the last episode. And if I have to, do a follow-up, then I'll do that later. But for now, it's all good. And that thought's capped off. The third rip is where I really, felt it. It was... I started seeing visuals and all these cool things about weed, though, so I'll probably get into later. Just as I tell the story, they'll just come up. Or as I do whatever happens here in this podcast, they'll come up. I started getting visuals. You know how there's a weird blue hue / red, purple, whatever. Little lines when you close your eyes, in the back of your eyelids, I should say, where it's not truly black. You got some color there. If you squeeze your eyes tight, then it's all one little shade of green that has little specks in it or whatever. It's mostly green. Sometimes when you just loosely keep your eyes, you see these blue veiny things going across your eyes. Maybe it's just your blood that you're seeing. I don't know. And maybe when you squint really hard, it's the blood gets pushed down and pushed away of your pupils, and it looks like just skin, and that's why it looks green. That's just the color of your skin. I don't know. I never thought of that before. Bunch of cool stuff happened tonight. I think I'm done with the bongs, exactly how it happened. In terms of rips. And yeah, thoughts, capped. There's not much else to say on that. See, this is yet another type of cap. It's not a happy cap, putting it to bed. It's not a fearful cap. It's just, I don't know how to describe this one. I don't know. Sometimes record. I just dropped my phone in the car. In between the seats. Alright, 20 minutes. Alright, not bad. Oh, alright, so right now everything's capped off. I can do whatever I want. Probably my first thought. And I don't know, if I think it's not worth it, I'll just cap it off and do a little hopscotch of capping off tangents. Because I didn't really think of one strong thing to say earlier when I wanted to make the episode. I felt kind of loose, improvisatory. No real idea of what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to, I'll just go off, whatever. I kind of wanted to, record or play music and react to it, now, because I really liked, bopping. What I do when I listen to music, we were playing music, all, four of us. One of the guys, the guy who came into the car just now, he, had a speaker and he played the music. Music that he chose. And he put on, we share, I say 10 to 20% of the same music taste, maybe less. Music taste. So most of it I didn't know. Some, I'd say 3 out of 10 that he showed were really interesting on their own, and I'm glad I didn't know them before. He showed me this Johnny Cash... Johnny, I keep thinking back to me saying that I keep thinking back to, I have to actually think back to it to remember. To me, realizing that I'm just going with my first thought right now, and I don't have to talk about going with my first thought to actually go with my first thought. And that, what I keep going back to, that thought, it's a sort of every time I think about it, the thought itself is just you don't have to think about me anymore. It's nudging me, and telling me not to worry, to look back at the root. It's saying you are you don't really want to. There's nothing more here. Sort of in a motherly way, stay away from the train tracks or something. Just with a smile, just oh, careful. I don't know what to say. See right now, I don't have to worry about. I'm just gonna go forward. Onward, as Theo Von would say. See, I don't even like, I don't know. I'll go back to that tangent. I won't cap it off. The thing about music, something interesting I wanted to say. I forgot. I kind of wanted to listen to music. Oh yeah, I do this thing where while I'm listening to music, I like hum along my own melodies to it, or I sing whatever the singer's singing, as if I'm singing the song, and it's really cool. I come up with really interesting melodies, at least to me. And the whole idea of improvisation, it's they're melodies that I'll never be able to recreate again, and I wish that I could record them, which led me to the idea that I would want to record myself listening to music, and firstly like analyzing it on its own, but like I kind of want to listen to music and like do my own melodies like vocally, just like kind of scat sing, not really scat like beep, but just kind of like do like one note or one sound, like da 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 or whatever. More importantly, like not with the sound, but just more importantly to pick up the melodies I make, because I think it would be cool to document the things I come up with. But then I started thinking like that's kind of cringy. I wouldn't want to like be memed about, where it's just like, oh, it's just like out of context, just me doing beep, you know. I feel like that'd be freaking uncomfy and make me all like fucking whatever, self-conscious about it. And then people who like hate on it, just like, what the fuck is this? Like Drums in Space with the Grateful Dead. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, huge fans of the thing otherwise, but like why are you they like despise this one thing. So I don't want there to be listeners who like trash me about, dude, I love your podcast except that one time where you like the segment where you freaking mumble your freaking garbage into the mic, like that sucks or whatever. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be self-conscious about it. I should just do it. I also don't want to like hear myself do it in the future. I kind of do though. I kind of want to be able to transcribe the melodies I make. And even if not, just document it. Because the worst thing for me that I've encountered so far with looking through the past episode is that listening to myself talk is really not fun. Especially like the intro to last episode was, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." Like that cringe, that was pretty bad. To be honest, like I didn't like listening to myself say that as an intro, because it doesn't fit the suave character that I imagine myself being. It doesn't fit that persona that I have in my head of myself. That was like a Bill Burr mannerism that I just replicated. I'm sorry. The phone screen is going off and it's not showing notifications per se. Fuck. Now my friend's worried if I left yet. I don't know if I put it in or if I cut it out, but my friend came up to the car and during one of the breaks, if I cut it out, friend came up to the car and asked why I didn't leave, because I'm just kind of like hiding in the cul-de-sac outside of his house. Not hiding, he told me to come here, just to chill out, because I don't really like driving while I'm high, and it'd be cool to record the podcast and give myself more episodes. Plus, I didn't want to. I guess it wouldn't make sense I'm just thinking of this now. It wouldn't make sense to talk at my house so loudly and record a podcast, especially not in that setting. That would suck. This setting's much cooler, where it's nighttime and there's like trees around me and it's all dark and there's like one house in front of me, and I don't feel very paranoid about anyone coming out at this hour. Plus, I have all my lights off, my engine's off, my keys out there, just making sure I have it. So yeah, I don't know anything what I was just saying. Any part of any of that. Oh yeah, the Bill Burr mannerism. I don't know where that led. My brain tells me leads me somewhere sort of interesting. Like this web leads me somewhere sort of interesting, but not really worth pursuing. So like I have 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5 more accurately. So I'll just I have to do something. I have to text my friend. I almost forgot to do that. See, this is why I can't drive. I'm here in the cul-de-sac because I don't want to drive high. Because I go on these weird tangents, but I don't want to do that while I'm moving the car, and the car is not at the same speed as my mind. I ain't sleepy or anything. Sorry about the pause. He said, text me when you get home at 3:12. It's 3:35 right now, and then he said, leave yet, about a minute ago. And I said, nah, but don't worry, I'm good. Ain't sleepy or anything. I don't want to, because he was worried about me sleeping here. He didn't want me to just fall asleep in my car. And I don't want him to worry, because I don't want anyone to worry about me and expecting me home or anything like that. I think I told my mom that I would sleep over at this kid's house, which I guess is immoral in a way, but like for the sake of the podcast, man. Sorry about the pause. I don't know how to fill this dead air. I think I'll just cut this out. This is something I will edit out probably. Or maybe... No, I'll leave it in. Fuck, no, I don't. Because that'd be really annoying to listen to. I'll cut out some. I think I'll cut out some. Because like some awkward pauses are cool, but not a lot. If you're not tired, now would be the time to do it while you're alert. Oh god, he's right. He said, okay, I just want you to get you home. I just want you to get home safe. If you're not tired, now would be the time to do it while you're alert, to drive home. And the thing is, he's right. So I said, I got you, I'll do that then. It's probably weird to read off text, like, not weird as in, like, oh, this is, like, against my morals to share my texts with someone, but, because, I mean, I guess maybe it is kind of moral, I don't know. But I guess I'm saying it because it's relevant to the podcast. And it might influence the way it ends, because I think I might just end it here. Nah, I only did 29 minutes. I don't know. Alright, of course. Alrighty. Alright, he said, word, text me when you get home. I said, alrighty. I'm thinking I might stay here and just keep recording. And let him know, and just tell him in like 12 minutes that I got home. So he just doesn't worry. I mean, I could just go home and just record the podcast in my driveway or something. I don't want parents to get up because that would ruin the setting. I would feel all paranoid about them coming out or something. I just want to do this podcast without any freaking worries, because then that freaking, like in the last episode, the movie theater, yeah, there are all these cars driving by, and first of all, that was distracting, and I don't have any of that distraction here. I guess, yeah. Being worried and paranoid about something is distracting, and that takes away from the podcast. It doesn't make it as free flow as it can be, as creative as it can be. It always goes back to the same topic of just paranoia. I think without paranoia, it allows you to go to more interesting places and allows you to not worry about derailing yourself and stuff like that. I don't know. Alright, so let me just... I mean, it could go home. I don't know. I'll stay here. I think my brain already agreed that it would stay here. I don't want to open the case file because that's going to lead me on these other tangents. I just want to know that the trial is adjourned, that it was agreed that I was supposed to stay here. And I don't want to dig up the old files and try to, like, change the outcome of my case. Alright, whatever. I'm talking too much. 3:37. Oh, yeah. 3:37, not bad. 3:40, get home, 3:50. Alright, 10 minutes. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something, but it's not that worth it. Alright. Alright. Now, I'm at that moment again. I have no idea what I'm going to do now. I'm really excited about that. And there's no loose ends I have to tie up. Let's go with my first thought. And not worry about what my first thought is. Not worry about influencing a third thought. Why did I say third thought? Alright, I'm going to say what I'm experiencing right now. This is another thing, because at the beginning of the high, I get all these physical, like, ooh, fuck. These physical shit, dude. Reactions to the freaking weed. Now I'm feeling it again, so I think I'm going to describe it as it happens. I just felt this weird, because I think I've been grinding my teeth today, because they kind of hurt like they have been. And I guess my temples have been... Because I've been using my temples a lot to grind my teeth, if I was grinding my teeth at all. So that means, so what weed does, it accentuates, at least for me, a pain or just a feeling you have. So like when I was walking in Central Park, when I smoked with a friend there, we were walking, and I could feel the impact of the walking, the concrete on my foot. Like I could feel that impact in my hip, where my leg meet my hip, or my leg meets my hip. What the fuck? I don't know. It still does meet my legs still do meet at the hip. And they did then. I don't know how to describe that tense. Fuck, whatever. This is the point where I want to keep going and I'm not, but I know that there's a loose end that I don't want to tie. Oh yeah, fuck. The physical reaction. Me, right now, I've been grinding my teeth. So as per example with the joint thing, what it does is it accentuates the feeling or the pain, whatever it is. Because I experienced this thing called buzzing that I haven't termed it that. My ex did. Whatever I decide to call her, I'll just put her name in here. Alright, I just went and I was just using that as blank space to fill in her name. And like in a normal podcast I would have actually put her name in there, but this is green tea or whatever I decide to call it. This is Patrick's Green Tea. So I can do what I want, and I'm gonna just say your name here. Alright, so I left a blank space. Oh, that's freaking weird. I don't know. They just, because that just like removes her dignity just to be like, I don't know, it'd be weird to say her name or not say her name. And just a blank, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to handle the privacy of this. Because it's one thing to tell a story that's your own. It's another thing to tell a story that involves someone else. Right? Within the someone else thing, it is one thing, within that someone else thing, it is one thing to tell a story about someone to people who don't know the person. It's another thing to say that's the same thing, telling a story about someone to people who don't know the person by and mentioning their name, right? Next to that is mentioning their full name. Next to that is mentioning their relationship with you. And then across all these is their relationship with you plus their name, the relationship with you plus their full name. So there's a bunch of little, crisscrosses there. Next to that little bunch of crisscrosses, I guess, is people. I almost lost it. I might have just lost it for saying I almost lost it. I remember that I had to talk about my reaction to it. Oh God. Oh, and it's another thing to to talk about someone to a large audience who's like a very large audience, So, and with all those things under that, freaking talking about their name, full name, relationship to you, mix of all of them, So it's hard to decide what to do. I don't know what to do with it. I'm just gonna, for now, I don't want to call her my ex, because that's like, in the future I could have multiple. That'd be confusing. I guess also I just might not care, and just it would be important to me only. But then also for the purpose of documentation for people who aren't me, it would be cool to know person from person. So I think that's the point of names in general. That was a stupid freaking thing to point out. But I at least want to have some sort of identification between them all. So maybe like a letter, so like S or D or whatever. First letter of a girlfriend's ex's name or friend's name. But the thing is, like, I feel like that's just degrading. Not really, not as much. It's not that degrading. What I feel the most is that it just takes away from the information that I'm trying to document. I guess there's a line, like, between what you want to document and what's practical. Because you can't infinitely just document everything. I don't know. That interferes with the whole truth all the time mantra I have. See, also, I was thinking tonight how, loose ends are tied. No, I want to talk about physical, whatever. I'll talk about this. Tonight, I was thinking, this podcast would be cool with another person, because, C and I mentioned C earlier as another person. I'll just use their freaking, I don't know. Because then, if I put in their names, I would have to ask them individually for permission. I guess maybe not legally, but like morally, I'd feel like I'd want to. But if I use their letters, there's another practicality thing. If I use just letters, I don't have to ask all of them. Plus, it doesn't document the full thing, but it doesn't really matter. I guess only in a story, or people who ask, like, when I have two stories of the same letter, it's like, is this the same C? I can say yes or no. Some people, to differentiate, they just change the name of someone. So there's no real repeats. You can kind of control what you're labeling people. But it's too much work and I would lose track. The physical thing. I'll just go on that. My temples right now are buzzing. Alright, they did when I had that, like, whoa, I had that physical reaction. They were buzzing, and then, so I have this thing where, like, I guess kind of adjacent to the chi, not really. Whenever I have weed, my physical reaction I have is like this buzzing, which that's where I got to this. My ex S, her name is S. For the purpose of this, Jesus Christ, that was long. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'll freaking timestamp this to make it easier to navigate. What did my ex S say? Fuck. What the shit? What the shit? I don't remember. Dead air. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call dead air. I was just listening to a Grateful Dead, Dead and Company show. It wasn't Autzen Stadium, it was the one after where they did the 11. So the third attempt by Dead and Company ever to do the 11. I saw the first one in concert, the first time Dead and Company ever did the 11. It was the same night as City Field Night 2, which made it all the better. Jesus Christ. The 11 was, I never heard it before. I mean, I did. My ex also, S, was, showed it to me. She actually predicted, that was really loud. She actually predicted, that they'd play the 11 all day. She was saying, I have a feeling they're going to do the 11. And, she's done stuff like that before. She's predicted Hell in a Bucket the first time I went to Saratoga. The first time I saw Dead and Company, which happened to be at Saratoga. So that was also the first show of this tour that I went to. But it was the first time I heard D11. She showed me just the live Dead version of the 11 on her phone, and it didn't really grab me. I didn't get it. It did, like, I never heard it before. And it's weird to show the 11 to someone, like the live Dead version, who doesn't understand the chords and stuff, because it's like you can't. I don't know if you can not hear it. If I couldn't hear it, it's hard to go back in that mindset of where I was at that time, because I already know what the 11 sounds like now. But I think the chord progressions I couldn't hear. I think that's why it didn't grab me. Because now that I know the chord progressions because of the Dead and Company version, and I guess Dead and Company version, because they play the chords really cleanly and loudly. Now that I know the chords, and I played it myself also, that helps a lot. I don't think I really understood the chord progression until I played it myself. I want to talk about my physical reaction to it. Fuck. But I also have to finish this. Oh, wow. See, when I go back in the tangent, sometimes it just ends it without me even wanting it to. Ends the previous tangent. I'm saying tangent a lot, I notice. I mean, they are tangents. So there have been times in this podcast where I said tangent. One time in this podcast where I said tangent when I think thought train or train of thought or thought tentacle. I don't know how to describe them. It sounds kind of weird. Thought tentacle. I don't even know where I'm going. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to call them. No, that's not where I was going. I don't know. Fuck. All right, I'm just gonna talk about the physical thing. Oh yeah, I know what I was talking about. Whatever. I'm just gonna go physical. I felt a buzzing in my temples and it spread up. Oh yeah, okay. So it's not really chocolate, but a reaction I have to weed is Jesus Christ, that's an expedition. It's gonna be weird to listen back to this whole train of thought sober. The way my thoughts move, it's just I've never actually done that before. I've never actually fully listened to the podcast of myself talking like this. It's probably really weird. Oh god, it's an experience I haven't yet had, and I'm probably gonna talk a lot about it. Oh my god, I am trying to say something that I don't remember. 11. That's not really important. Buzzing is important. What was I trying to say about buzzing? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's it? That's so simple. The reaction I have to weed is like one reaction is that I buzz, which my ex-girlfriend S came up with. Alright, that's it. That's the end of the S stuff. Fuck. That tail is cut off, not even capped off. Oh, I'm gonna lose it. I shouldn't say that. I should just try to maintain the tentacle. Try to wrangle the tentacle. That sounds freaking weird. Oh, I'm gonna wrangle the tentacle because it's a penis thing. Oh my god. I should probably record my face. My face is doing some weird things. Not weird, but not normal. Not what they would be normally. And I think that's another thing that's worth documenting. But that alone is just too much for me right now. I don't think I'll do that until I'm way older because I don't know. Because I'm okay with my name leaking and my audio of me talking leaking. Because that I can handle. But full videos of myself leaking it with like my face, or not leaking, but like by leaking I mean like seeing my family watching it, or like close friends or people who are potential hirers. I don't want them and I just lost what I was talking about because I was trying to look in my other tangents. Oh my god. Oh yeah, recording video. You can't. It's probably just dead space. But in my head, I'm like thinking a lot. I'm like trying to catch the thought train. That sounds like a weird song lyric. I'm trying to figure out what I was saying, but like I don't say anything while I do that, so it's just like dead air. It's probably really weird to listen to. But basically what I'm trying to say is there's a lot going on in my mind when I'm high, and it's like I can't put it all down. This is like the best I can do. Anyway, back to the video thing. I wouldn't necessarily be ready to leak what I look like high. I mean, what I look like is fine. Whatever. I'm okay with people all over the world / my family seeing. I mean, I'm not really okay, but I guess like I don't really mind, you know. It wouldn't like destroy me if they found out that I did this podcast, you know. And just in general. But I think some part of me would mind if they saw me like recorded. It's also probably really weird to see a 19-year-old recorded high. But that's part of the appeal of the podcast is that there's nothing like this podcast out there. I mean, there probably is. I've seen one where a guy took DMT and he recorded himself normally. I'm really tired. Which means I should drive. Fuck. How much have I recorded? Shit. That was more than 10 minutes. Ugh, sorry, dead there. Oh, I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You said everything good? I said, oh shit, sorry, bro. I forgot to text you. I'm all good back home. Have a good night, my man. 47 minutes of this podcast. Stuff I want to finish. Okay, whatever. The buzzing, I feel like that's something I want to finish. The buzzing is a reaction I have. Okay, this is such a simple thought and it's not been finished at all. Fuck. This simple thought that I have, which is, fuck, dude. I missed I went in the wrong car, the freaking thought train. I missed it. And now it's gone. Buzzing. Important word. I have to remember what I was talking about with buzzing. Buzzing. Is a reaction. Oh my god. Is a reaction I have. That's literally all I want to say. Buzzing is one of the reactions I have to weed. And that's literally it. Okay, next thought. That was fucking Christ. Fuck. Buzzing is a reaction I have to weed. And I just had it. That's literally all I was trying to say. Literally all I was trying to say. My mouth is really cotton-mouthed and I'm like stuttering a lot. So I probably sound really weird. Not just weird, but like cannot freaking finish the sentences I'm trying to say. And it's not necessarily a result of the weed. It's just, I mean, maybe it is, but partially. Maybe the dry mouth is a result of the weed. Also, probably the stuttering. I guess I don't talk like this normally. At least I hope not. Okay. So basically, buzzing. This reaction I have, and I was feeling it. It kind of went up from my temples into my brain. And I was still kind of there, like higher than. Oh, it's at my temples, but it just felt like it was higher than I thought. On my head. Just at my temples. The spatial awareness in my head is all weird right now. Which I actually think I don't want to drive because that's kind of dangerous. Fuck. I feel like no, I don't want to jinx it. Fucking. It would be unsafe to drive. But the thing is, the longer I wait, the more tired I'm going to get, and the more unsafe it might be. But also, the longer I wait, the less high I get, which make it more safe. So I'm at weird crossroads. I don't know which one outweighs the other, and which one's increasing faster, my sleepiness or my highness, or my soberness. It's probably a calculus graph someone could make. Freaking, if I measured my tiredness every minute or something, and my highness, my highness, your highness. Fuck, the stupid little like side things get me so sidetracked. If I was sober, I would be able to keep track better. Because I try to explain. I try to explain everything. I freaking sound like I'm insane. I try to explain everything too much when I'm high. I feel the need to explain everything. When I'm sober, I don't really. I feel a lot easier about just letting things go that, like tangents go that even aren't capped. But when I'm high, like when I was talking to the guys today, I wouldn't let a thought go. I would like make sure I remembered to ask them this, like one question, like, what are you studying, man? Or what school are you going to? Something like that. Alright, sleep safe. What is that? Friend just told me to sleep safe, so that means it's 4:00 a.m. And it also means that whole thing is done with worrying about him. I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, I can finally not worry about him. He's out of my life. He is taken care of, as they say. I don't want to freaking sound like an asshole. It's one of my biggest fears, sound like an asshole. All right, yeah, all my thoughts are. I should stop even thinking that all my thoughts are capped off, because thinking that kind of derails me from what I was just saying. I should just talk. Just talk. Whatever. Just talk. Doesn't matter if you forget what you were just saying. Just talk. I got a bunch of thoughts right now I could talk about, which is cool. The calculus graph was interesting. What I said, I can kind of see it in my mind, but I can't see which line is higher, which line is increasing more. Oh God. I'm really tired. The thing is, I have to get up at like, I don't know. I'm meeting my friend. My friend works at the beach, also a C, different C. Lifeguard C. I'm gonna call him the lifeguard. Like the swimmer, because he did both. I'll call him the. He did a lot of other stuff though. He played trumpet. I'll call him the swimmer. I don't care about leaking details because people on podcasts leak details of people all the time, and you can't really track someone based on just really small details of their life unless you're close to them, which I guess is a slight invasion of privacy because people who are close to them might hear the stories. I mean, I'm not even telling a bad story. I don't know. Ugh. But the general world wouldn't. But then at the same time, like, I don't know. If you don't want to be remembered for something, why would you do it? You know, if you can face responsibilities. Okay, C, the lifeguard. He has a common name too, so I might slip it in. But there's too many. I don't know. Lifeguard man. No, swimmer man, because there's another person with the same initial who is a lifeguard / swimmer. I don't know which one is more prominent than him, so which name to label that I will remember. I don't even know what I was trying to say about this man. About something else. Fuck. That was a tangent. God damn. Now that was a tangent. I can't do the Steve Ranella voice. I freaking love Steve Ranella. I would love to I would love to meet Steve. Oh fuck, that was my headrest seat, whatever. I would love to meet Steve Ranella. Go hunting with him. I kind of want to go hunting. I haven't really talked about that with anyone really, even besides the podcast. Because I don't really know how people receive it, so I kind of have to gauge the level that they're at in terms of like their opinion of hunting before I decide what level to go at them with. Because if they're like an avid hunter, I'm going to be like, oh dude, I've been listening to Steven Ranella for freaking hours. When he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, like, I listened to every episode, maybe minus one that he's been on. Not even, maybe I listened to all of them. I think I did listen to all of them that he was on Joe Rogan's. And just the way he's so like freaking eloquent, and he's a definite writer. He's able to articulate his thoughts super well. Plus, he's able to he spent a lot of time researching people like Theodore Roosevelt and things like the Bureau of Land Management. A lot of cool stuff. This guy's like great. All right, fuck. I'm trying to be practical. The thought that's buried under all these is practical. I have to think this out, so it's at least in the air. I have to get up at 9. I don't have to get up 9. Fuck. I have to do. Why do I keep thinking 9? What's wrong with 9? I always start working at 9. Chris. Oh God. I don't know. Some of these are just gonna be inevitable. I need to be consistent. I don't know. I'll just say names, whatever. Chris, huh? Chris the I don't know, swimmer lifeguard. Chris the swimmer trumpeter, whatever. That's probably the limit I'll go with names. Name and then 1 or 2 details that describe them to differentiate them instead of just letters. Chris, that guy. And people can ask me, oh, is this Chris the blank blank? And I'll be like, or Chris the blank, or whatever they say. And I'll be like, yeah, he does that too, or whatever. Chris the swimmer lifeguard trumpeter. Oh, shoot. The other one played trumpet too. But this one actually is known for that because he played it into high school. The lifeguard swimmer trumpeter Chris. Not just the lifeguard swimmer Chris. Anyway. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh, yeah. I need to go home. Fuck. Just stay on that. I need to go home. And go from that tangent. I need to go home. No, it's too far away from what I'm trying to get at. Drive home. No. 4 a.m. Oh, yeah, that's what it is right now. Fuck. That's way too far. There's a tree here that looks just like a dog. Like a Hanna-Barbera dog. And it's like this and the other visuals I saw today. I did see visuals today. Gotta get home. Alright, fuck. I just shut off all those visuals out of necessity. All those tangents out of necessity. I have to be practical. I have to get home. I'm not gonna say I don't have to go home. I have to get home. He works from like 9 to 2. I have to be somewhere at 1, right? Definitely. That means I have to leave my engagement with Chris about 15 minutes ahead, maybe less, 10 minutes ahead, right? So that puts me at 12:45. I want to be there for maybe an hour, maybe less. Maybe I'll just be there for half an hour. I want to be there, say an hour conservatively. Then I'll save a half hour. 11:45. I want to wake up, take a shower, and it takes me an hour 20 in school to get up, do my things, and go to class. Hour 20. That's plus or minus like 5 minutes, maybe not even 5 minutes, just because the distance of the different classes. But an hour 20 has been my, get up time, and I usually put an alarm for 10 minutes earlier, so I have an alarm to kind of wake me up, and then I have like 10 minutes to just stew in my like weird half sleep state, which is really fun to just be in. I keep saying I want to get home. Oh, I'm in the middle of that. Whatever. All right. What I was just saying is not as important as getting home, so I'm just going to try to stick on the main topic. Okay, it takes me an hour 20 to get ready. Whatever. It takes me an hour and 20 to get ready, and so that makes me at 10:25. Showering is like an added 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to be safe and not stress. So that's, I don't know where I'm at. I'm going to start again. 12:45. I went down an hour for something. 11:45. Hour 20. 10:25. Showering. 9:55. Okay. Now I'm at 9:55 as my get up time. What do I want? So now, 9:55. Let's make it 9:45. Whatever. Conservative. It's 4 o'clock now. That means I'm going to get 5 hours, 45 minutes of sleep. And I didn't even think about the things I might want to get for the rest of the day that I need to get ready. That would take more time. So, conservatively, another conservative counting method. What time is it now? 4:08. Alright, so let's just say it's 4:15. Because it's going to take me some time to get home. 4:15. If I sleep now, 9:55 is 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 5 fingers on my hand that I counted while I counted 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means, I'm just trying to do math while I'm freaking high. It's weird. So there are 5 fingers on my hand, right? What do those fingers mean? Hours? Yes, they do. Hours meaning what? What kind of hours? Hours what? Hours what? Sleeping. Oh, God. That's not a lot of time. What am I doing tomorrow that's important? Work. Driving, because I'm a pizza delivery driver. So it involves alertness. Is 5 hours a lot? No. I have to get home. Okay. Whatever. It's not worth thinking about because that would take away time. That was the episode. An hour. Kind of short. I wish it went on longer. There's a lot more I could talk about. I think the good length is 2 hours. Just in terms of just like talking about, housekeeping, house cleaning, whatever the podcasters / content creators say. In terms of house cleaning, housekeeping, I think is what it is. House cleaning is not it. I think I want to make my podcast 2 hours, 2.5 maybe. And if it goes on, I think I like the Joe Rogan thing. 3 hours and a half would be like the hard cap or something. And then, unless there's an interesting topic, but I would just wrap it up. Mandatorily wrap it up at 3:30. 3 hours would be like 3:30 would be like an extreme, or with someone. 3 would be the hard cap for just me talking. I think 2 is a good amount for me talking. There's so much I miss. So 2:30. I want to get 2:30, and then people don't like it. That's the point. That's my proposal. 2 hours 30 in a controlled setting. Pretty much perfect time. If people don't like it, send me feedback. Say you want it shorter, or if you want it longer, But that's my proposal. 2 hours 30, and I'll give it to the fans for the final verdict. I have to get home. So, do I have anything else I really am burning to say? No, not really. Kind of freeform. It's also good to be not bound to not format. I mean, yeah, format, but like it's not really relevant right now because I'm not really in control of my. I should be more in control of my setting. I mean, I am setting. Like all these episodes are recorded after random encounters with weed. Currently, it's going to change once I get like a better access to it, but. These episodes are just being recorded in a series as fast as possible. Maybe like 3 to 5. This is the third one that I would be willing to release. And the second one I'm going to release first. And I'm leaving out the actual second one, the listed second one. I'm going to do it as like a secret episode or some extra. The actual Green Tea episode 2 is its name as it's called in my iPhone. The original Green Tea episode 2 was me high. I don't want to say where. Something's just there's in terms of the story thing that I mentioned earlier. Like some stories involving other people, like kind of closed off from even me being possibly discussed. Like I don't even want to give out any details. It just seems like too personal, and that'll happen every once in a while. But I just sneeze. The first one was a weird sneeze. The second one was kind of weird too, in a different way. Because my voice sounds really weird because it's all smoky. Anyway, I'm going to have to drive. Oh god, my parents are going to hate hearing that. Fuck, dude. They're going to hate hearing me swear too. But this is all part of the honesty and the benefit, I'm just going to keep talking like, get ready. The benefit of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Whatever. We're good. I see you on the podcast. Fuck. It was good talking to you guys. Good talking to myself currently. You guys in the future. I still don't know how many of you guys there will be, which is weird to think about. But, it's cool. It's like you don't know how big your audience is going to be. Ever. At any point. Like you could be 300,000. Think that's going to be 300,000 forever. It's not. It might turn out to be 300 million. You never know. This is too much of a tangent. Whatever. 2.5 hours seems good because there's a lot of information that I'm missing right now. That would take me another hour and a half to put accurately into a podcast by myself. Maybe an hour. Hour and a half seems like safer. And no skin off my back. And it's also 2 hours and a half was what I proposed. So yeah, it's too many tangents. Fuck. Okay. Just talking about. I'm just basically thinking out loud at this point. But that's basically all this is. Just literally thinking out loud, saying the thoughts that come to my head. That's all conversation, man. Now I'm just talking about fucking nothing. Alright. Bye. Should I just end it when I say bye? Yes. Yes. Don't think of more things to say. Just end it. Oh my god. Okay. Bye.
Hello. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can find me at PatricksGreenTea on Patreon, Discord, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and Bandcamp. Patrick's Green Tea Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Instagram. At PatrickGreenTea without an S on Twitter. You can join our subreddit at r/PatricksGreenTea. You can make comments on the website PatricksGreenTea.com and on YouTube. And you can contact me directly at PatricksGreenTea@gmail.com. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.